Thank you for tuning in again. I appreciate it as always, and I have back the lovely Alexander with some more stories on his journey through death row. So hey, how you doing?
What's going on, Francesca? How are you feeling today?
I'm good, thank you. You?
You know what? One day at a time. You know, taking it easy. Um, Thankful for my health. Thankful for my mental health, and I'm just pushing forward in the process.
Oh, good, good. Well, sorry, I was just going to say, just quickly for anybody who is new to my channel or hasn't seen the last video, would you like to just give a little brief lowdown of who you are?
I can do that. I can do that. So, first and foremost, peace and blessings to everybody out there. Thank y'all for clicking on and tuning in. And I trust that this dialogue will encourage you to, share your personal views and opinions when it comes to, me, Francesca, her page, and, you know, however you feel about the death symbol. Um, my name is Alexander Rashad Hamilton. And yes, Alexander Hamilton is my actual name. The difference is I'm the Black Hamilton. So let me introduce you to the Black Alexander Hamilton. I am a death row prisoner inside of a California state prison. I have been incarcerated since I was 18 years old for the shooting death in a bank branch robbery inside of a grocery store. But the shooting death was of a police officer. I was arrested when I was 18 years old. I was charged with capital murder, and inside of 2.5 years later, I was 20 years old, sitting on death row, waiting on my death sentence. Throughout this time, my journey has been a struggle. However, the struggle is where the strength comes from. And it's been through reading and writing, growing, understanding, and wanting to grow and understand, which is, allowed me to, evolve, from a little boy that think he grown into a grown man. I recently turned 37, December 3rd. I'm going on, this is about 18.5 years that I've been incarcerated. And like I say, it's been a struggle. And I'm just grateful that I am who I am. And I'm someone who's always taken responsibility for my actions. And throughout this time, I've seen like so much happen. I've seen so many changes in the laws and through criminal justice reform to where my optimism has always been there, but now it's not just optimism no more. It makes sense because I'm watching people get out of prison, and I know that my time will come as well. One of the main reasons why I was even interested in doing like these episodes, some will call them, let's call it a series, because I'm gonna continuously pop up and do some work with you, Francesca.
Appreciate
One of the main things was me wanting to get myself out there. No one can be a bigger and better advocate for you than you. And like I say, I'm not someone who's claiming innocence because that's not my situation. However, I advocate for myself to receive a second chance at life because I'm not comfortable being defined as the worst thing that I've ever done and letting this just be who I'll remain for the rest of my life. I'm not this ignorant, mentally defeated, emotionally stunted child who shot and killed someone, 18 and a half years ago. That's not who I am anymore. And throughout this time, all the work, all the personal rehabilitation that I've been doing, it's all been for me. Because initially when I first got to death row, you didn't see nobody moving or going nowhere. There wasn't nobody going out to court. Wasn't nobody getting a death sentence dropped down from death to life without the possibility of parole. So
this call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
To actually getting time served. So because I'm living through this, it sometimes I gotta pat myself on the back for a whole lot of the nonsense that I intentionally and purposely miss. Because I've always felt that, you know what? This cannot, I shall not, and will not be my final, resting place. And because you're in the United Kingdom, over these years, I've written a lot of letters over there. So I'm pretty sure somebody listening to this episode right now, they're like, wait a minute, I know that guy. Yeah, you probably do. You know what I'm saying? It's quite a few good people over there. And I mean, speaking of that, speaking on letter writing, period. So when I very first got to death row, my neighbor, me and my neighbor, we was talking, and he was an older dude. He'd already been down like 20 plus years, and we was just standing at our gates because we don't have solid doors on death row. It's just like a chicken wire gate with bars. So, it's really just like 10 inches between us, and we're talking to each other.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
You know what? Hold that thought. I'm going to call you right back and finish that story.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
All right.
So guys, anyone that hasn't seen the first interview that I've done with Alexander, this will happen every 15 minutes. And I know it can be a bit frustrating. It's like, but unfortunately it is the way it is. It's my only way of contact with him other than Messenger. But yeah, I'm really excited to find out what it's like on death row. Is it like in the movies? The horror stories, what they say they are, because you hear things over here, and from a female's perspective, the horror stories are definitely not like the movies. They're nothing like that. But in America, it's a different world, a total different world. So yeah, we will see what he says. I'm very interested to find out. And again, like I said in the last one, if you've got any questions, please hit up in the comment section so then I can ask him. Bear with me, he's just calling back.
This is Global Tel Link. You have a prepaid call from
Alexander Hamilton,
an inmate at the R.J. Donovan Correctional Facility, San Diego, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Francesca?
Hey.
Okay, so I was standing at my door and I'm talking to my neighbor. And like I said, I just got to death row. And he was like, I'm going to go ahead and, I'm going to keep it simple with you. You're going to look up one day in 10 years, or it's going to fly past you. And you're going to be wondering, like, how did 10 years pass you by? The problem with that is, as you're thinking about how these 10 years pass you by, 10 more years going to slide past you. He said the only way to interrupt this flow of monotony and just nothingness you got to find something that you're good at, find something that you like to do. You have to challenge, you got to test yourself. So he said, can you read? Can you write? I said, yeah, I can read and write. I've never had a problem with that. That's always been my strong suit. He said, what you like? You write letters and stuff? You write your people? I said, yeah. He said, would you write like any random person? I'm like, I don't understand what you're getting at. He said, look, you like white girls? And in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, here we go with this shit. I'm like, we got one of them black guys that just love white women. I said, bro, I say, what are you getting at? He said, listen to me. One thing you're about to notice is that Europe and the United Kingdom especially, they're way more empathetic, way more understanding of a condemned prisoner's plight. And it's like they reach out way more than the people inside of the States are going to reach out to you. He says, I guarantee you one of the first letters that you get is going to be from somebody overseas. And I'm like, well, if I just got here, how could somebody overseas know where I'm at? He said, because as soon as you get convicted of a capital offense and sent to death row, your name automatically goes up on these boards in all different places because you have these advocacy groups, these coalitions to end the death penalty overseas. He says, so, like I said, if you like to write, and you don't mind writing white women, if you don't have anything against white girls, just know that this is where a lot of the people, a lot of the letters that you get, this is where they should have come from. That same day, I got a letter from somebody that I did not know from the United Kingdom. So it caught me off guard. But then again, it was just like, it felt good that somebody else was like paying attention and that they wanted to show their support in whichever way they could.
Yeah.
At the same time, though, you think about it like, well, you got all these people in the United States of America. This on their newscast all day, every day. How can I hear from somebody in a whole another country before I hear from somebody out here? So, I kind of really didn't put too much thought to that. I wasn't even tripping off that. But from letter writing, I really got a chance to look at myself, and I got a chance to talk to people in another part of the world that, if not for this letter, I would not even know that these parts of the world existed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just being a friend, like just talking about my life and, getting all up in their business and looking to learn more about them, I really got a chance to look at myself and get to know me. Like, I wouldn't think sitting down writing a letter to somebody else that I'd get a chance to know myself in this process. But I did, and like I said, it's been extremely rewarding over these years, and it's really, catered to my growth and development, as a man and as a person, behind these walls.
So, what kind of so obviously you're doing a bank robbery and you've shot a copper. Like, what led up to that? Like, was it drug use? Like, do you mind me asking the person?
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
So for starters, I'm not going to go too far into that, but I can answer that question. Number one, it wasn't no drug use. So I don't have that as an excuse or a crutch. Truthfully, I have no excuses and no crutches for me, you know, robbing a bank and shooting a cop. Like there is no crutch or excuse for that. I acknowledge the fact that my judgment on that day was poor, it was selfish, and it was detrimental to the lives of myself and many others. And it's something that you feel it every day, because it's like I say, regret and remorse are two different things. However, they're steps. You'll never be able to get to remorse if there is no regret.
Yeah, right.
But if you just regret something, and you don't feel it, there is no remorse. So it's either one or two or nothing. And inner city struggle is just coming up in the hood and just being subjected to just all this other stuff that when you coming up, like the struggle is cool. When you're a kid, this struggle is cool. And you know, it is what it is. And it's like you look around you and everybody is going through the same stuff. Like this is what it is down here. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's even like even when you leave the area where you're from, when you go to another area, I promise you, even as a child, like the air smells different, the air tastes different. It's like it feels different. Like you know when you're in a better neighborhood, and it's just like just breathing in that air is just like it's like you're a ticking time bomb. And you know, I don't blame nobody for my actions. Like my mother, my father, anything that they had going on in their lives, like no, I do not blame them. I blame myself because I knew right from wrong. Despite the fact that I'm in prison and I have a death sentence, I still have home training. Despite the fact that, you know, yes, drugs and alcohol was in my household, but they weren't in my household like forever. My moms and pops did what they did, but I can't say that I've never been hungry. I've never been cold. I wasn't abused. I wasn't afraid to talk to my moms and my pops. So it's like, I can't sit up here and be like, oh man, it was just rough at home. It wasn't. You know, so what that there was times when we had to wash our clothes in a bathtub, you know, boil some water on the sink to put it in the bathtub, to stir up the bath water with a damn if it wasn't a baseball bat, it was a broken leg off something wooden. And then we had to go to the front of our house because we had bars on our window, and then we used to hang our clothes up to dry right there. Like those are inner city struggles, things that go on in the hood. Yet that doesn't I don't get no pass for doing what I did at the age of 18. So I'm gonna say greed. Wanting something that I didn't have and I wasn't willing to go work for it at that time. I'm gonna say greed led me down that path. Ignorance led me down that path. Having no self-esteem, not low self-esteem, no self-esteem, because for a person, a man, a child, when we put ourselves in such like just messed up situations and messed up predicaments, like who does something like that? Like you put yourself in a position to where like you feel that you have to act a certain way, or you feel like you have to defend yourself. Like how do you feel about yourself to even do yourself like that? So, I acknowledge my ignorance, and that's why I struggle so hard not to be ignorant anymore when it comes to anything. Because I know what not knowing, I know what it'll do to you.
I mean, I have so much respect for you. Like, it's so, like, what you just said. I don't think there is many people in this world that would literally like sit there and just go greed, not make up any excuse, not even, justifying it, fully owning it. Like, that's just like massive. And I have even more respect for you than I had before. And I can guarantee that you done a lot of work in prison, and I'm pretty sure that's helped you be the man that you are today. And yeah, you should be proud of yourself. And please don't take that in a patronizing way, because to be able to sit here knowing that, I've got people in Australia, I think it's Germany, the UK, America, that watch my channel. So people all over the world, are going to hear this. And I just think it's powerful, and it just shows what a true, honest person that you are.
Thank you. Thank you. I highly appreciate that, Francesca. I sincerely do. And like I say, that comes from the looking at capital punishment. Like I said, you got two parts to your trial. You have guilty innocence, and then you have the penalty phase, which you either gonna get a death penalty or life without the possibility of parole. Because I had a private investigator, so you got these private investors getting all up in your business, and they want to know every detail of your life. And then they find out every detail of your life.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
That's on paper. And then they find out things about your mom, your dad, your family members, the place you grew up. They find out about your neighbors and all kind of stuff. So for me, my whole life, besides the few things that I know about myself, besides my own personal secrets, you know what I'm saying, like where my favorite park was, or just like what I really used to like to do as a kid. Like I used to like to run in the creek and catch lizards. Like other than that stuff right there, my whole life is on paper. My whole life has been told from the narrative of
You have 60 seconds remaining.
A prosecutor who intended to convince the jury to vote to kill me. So the narrative has already been controlled. I'm gonna stop on that moment, and I'm gonna call you right back.
Cool. Bye. Guys, what do you think about that? That's quite that's I was expecting, because I've actually never asked him that question. Obviously, you guys know we've spoke, but I've never actually asked him like what led him there. So it's yeah, I'm actually blown away to his response. I really thought it was going to be drugs, bank robbery. That's huge. Like, you don't really get away with that kind of stuff. I mean, okay, this is a long time ago, so it was easier to do stuff back then than what it is now, but I didn't expect that response, not at all, and I really, really do. I stand by what I say. I have so much respect for the fact that he's just fully owned that. Like, no messing around. Like, sorry, I'm just unlocking my phone. Yeah, no messing around, no excuses. That's big for me anyway. Because yeah, not once did he sit there and try and play victim in any of that. So I've got so many questions I want to ask him, so many, but it's hard. It's hard to get it all in, but obviously we're going to make this run over a long period of time.
This is Global Tel Link. You have a prepaid call from
Alexander.
Season 1, episode 2.
An inmate at the R.J. Donovan Correctional Facility, San Diego, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Francesca.
Hey.
All right, I'm back. Okay. What I was saying was the narrative has already been controlled. My narrative is already against me. It makes no sense for me to sit back and validate it in any way, shape, or form when somebody only gave you one side of me, and that's all the information they have on me. So me placing blame on everybody else, or me lying and saying it wasn't me, or me just like the woe is me, like acting like I'm the first person to experience any hardship, acting as if I'm the first person to get incarcerated at the age of 18 and end up on death row. That makes no sense. No one really cares about that. So for me, it's all about the truth. I can stand on the truth. You can't stand on no lies. Lies always fall apart. You feel what I'm saying? I've had more than enough people lie on me already. Even in this situation right here. You know, you go on the trial every day, and you got these journalists and these newspaper people. They sitting in your trial. They're hearing everything that's being said. They're taking notes, and they're still going back, and they're marking up their story to make it just a little more juicier. It's like, what?
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
What's the purpose of that? I'm already stuck. I've already been found guilty. For what reason do you need to sit back and fabricate this story? There's no need for that. So I got to the point to where it was like, I'm just tired. There's nothing to lie about. You're either going to accept me for who I am, or you're not going to associate with me. The thing is, I'm not looking for no friends. I learned early in my incarceration that this body right here, this is the only home that I have in this universe. Your body is the only home that you have in this universe. No matter where I go, I'm going to be in this body. Therefore, I have to have a sense of self. There has to be some love for self, some kind of acknowledgement of self before any and everybody else. Meaning that before I tell you anything, before I lie to you, I have to lie to myself, period. Doesn't matter how big or little it is. I cannot lie to you without lying to myself first. There's no reason for me to lie to myself. So when I really grasp that, it's like, yeah, there's no need for no shows no more. Nothing to lie about. It's not on nobody but me. The only place I can go from here is up. You know what I'm saying? I didn't fell on my face hard. The only place I can go from here is up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't fell on my face. I'm hurt, but I'm still breathing. Okay, let me do a little check real quick. Okay. I'm hurting. Okay. Let me drink some water. Stretch it out. Okay. Get up and get back at it. That's life. When I stopped making excuses for things, I started putting a question mark at the end of things. Because now I'm just looking to understand now. As much as I want to understand me first and foremost. The more that I wanted to understand myself, that's when the world outside of me started making more sense. You feel what I'm saying? Where it's like all my problems were with me first. Now, a problem is really just a question. So if you take any problem that you have and look at it like a question, it can be broken down into like a mathematical equation. Now, to any mathematical equation, a formula has to be applied. So, for instance, if someone is an alcoholic, their problem is alcohol. Okay, what do they need to do? They need to stop drinking alcohol. But first, they need to find out, why is this alcohol even enticing in the first place? Why do I like this alcohol so much? Where did this come from? Because there was all times when we were kids that we weren't thinking about alcohol. And we were having fun as kids. So what happened? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's where we got to get to as people. And when I got there, it was like, you know what? Nah, I'm gonna go ahead and write all my own beats out. I think it'd be better like that.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking about how it is true, how much fun you have before alcohol comes into it, and how it changes everything. Kind of went lost on thought then.
And now you can't have fun without alcohol. Like that's backwards.
I know. I've had some of the best memories in prison. Honestly, I've got some of the best memories with my friends having a laugh with no alcohol, no drugs, nothing, and literally, yeah, and that's when it really hit me inside, like how much fun, like how you just don't need it.
Yeah, exactly. Because like I say, like in prison, like you stuck with you and your thoughts and your real feelings. Not like say, don't get me wrong, you got some liars and some cheaters, and you got some nonsense in prison too.
Crazy mofos in prison.
Not everybody's like that. Wait, say that again?
I said there's some crazy mofos in prison. Crazy. Some real nice, genuine people. There's some crazy ones. Oh, mate, I've come across every character you could possibly meet in prison.
Oh, trust me. I know.
So,
hey, but 1 second, I'm gonna have. Hey, hold on. I'm gonna have to call you back in a minute because, like I say, after an hour, this thing just cuts off. So, I'm gonna hang up and I'm gonna call you right back. And whatever you're gonna ask me, we'll pick up when you answer again. Okay?
No problem. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
So I think it's question time. I've got quite a few questions for him. So we're going to be doing series. We're going to call them, and this is episode 2, and we're going to run them for about an hour each time. So I think we'll spice up the second half with question time. I have a few, and like I've already said, if you guys think of anything, and it doesn't matter how bizarre, how crazy. I mean, like I said, one of them's what would your last meal be? Another one, just unlock this phone. And another question is, has anybody that you've been friends with been like given the injection? Has anyone died that are on death row as well? I've got quite a few now, but we'll wait until he calls back. So guys, if you're not subscribed and new to my channel, please hit the subscribe button. All you oldies, thank you for staying tuned in and staying loyal to my channel. I appreciate that always. It's been a tough last year, that's for sure. And even the year before that. So everyone that's been from the get-go, they've stuck around with me, not working for a little while. and then coming back. But this year is so much exciting stuff, guys. So if you don't know who Nick Yaris is, please give him a search. I met him by sheer accident, and I've actually done an interview with him. I'm not sure, to be honest, if it's going to go up before or after this. I'll probably do it after. So yeah, have a little search on him. Lovely guy, really, really amazing guy. And he's been through some. So yeah, he was wrongly convicted of rape and murder. He spent 20 years on death row in America. He escaped from prison. He also was the first to be found not guilty through DNA. So, guys, yeah, stay tuned and check that one out coming up. And he's taking his time calling back. Sorry about this. I mean, I'm not going to lie, even I find it a little bit annoying. It's just long, especially when you get into something and you're talking or I'm about to ask him a question and then this happens. But we'll get there. We'll get there. And like I say, I'm excited to do a live. I think that would be really fun. But like I said before, I'll make sure that we got a few days' notice on this one. And I've read out all his comments. I actually haven't responded to the comments of the last video, so I am really sorry, guys. But even if I like it or love it, I like to respond to everyone. But sometimes it's a bit tough with working. But just don't know that I appreciate it anyway. So I've read him out some comments before we started the video, and yeah, so he really appreciates that, and he's blown away with the fact of that people are supportive of him. There's nothing negative on there except for, oh, how are you talking to someone on death row as if that'd be allowed. Well, I'm not magicking this out of my
This is Global Tel Link. You have a prepaid call from
Alexander Hamilton.
an inmate at the R.J. Donovan Correctional Facility, San Diego, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now.
Charge for the calls.
Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
There she is.
Question time.
Question time?
Yeah, I think so. I've just been giving them a download that we're doing seasons. This is episode 2 to season 1. We're gonna do, I think an hour's a good slot time, and I think that we should spend the last half of this episode doing some questions, if you're okay with that.
I can roll with that. With that.
Okay, so one question. Have you ever been friends with somebody that's actually on death row, that's actually been given, that's actually died?
That's actually died or actually been executed?
Sorry, executed.
Okay. No. So the last execution that they did was in 2006. In 2006, I was still in the county jail. So the end of 2005, they executed Stanley Tookie Williams, and then in 2006 they executed somebody. I don't know who that was. So I don't know anybody who was condemned that actually got executed, because they haven't executed nobody the entire time that I've been on death row.
Okay. And then, is it so in the prisons that you've been in? Is it like the movies? Is it gangs and gangs and gangs and all? Like where people just stab people up and?
Yes. It's a lot of. I'm not gonna say it's like the movies, but gangs. That's the lay of the land. Like, that's regular stuff, and it's more like, you got to remember, like, this is California. Like, Cali is gangland central, so it's like, you kind of like, you got to expect that out here. Like, it's not like we in Iowa or Nebraska. Like, this is California. Like, a lot of things have transpired, like, in these California prison systems. A lot of prisons have been built to house, all throughout the United States of America, they have been built to house people as if they are like these California gang members. Like, when it comes to like these level 4 and, you know, these maximum security prisons, like, a lot of that stuff is because of all the stuff that was going on in California. So, yeah, like, that's the lay of the land.
Have you ever watched Prison Break?
They showed Prison Break 2008, 2009. So I believe I've seen the first 1 or 2 seasons. However, let me say this before you even get started. That prison, no, whatever, no, please don't, no, no, that is so. That's not even fantasy. That's like I don't know what you call that. Prison Break is no.
No, but what I want to know is,
don't even think about that.
No, but what I want to know is, hang on, I've got to ask the question because I'm actually amusing myself. There's the you know, where he holds the pocket and he makes him his like biatch. Like, is that a thing there? You know, like where they pull the pocket out and then the little, like, you know, their little boyfriend has to hold the pocket. Like, if they pull the pocket out.
Oh, back in the day, that was a thing.
Really?
Yes. Back in the day, that was, yes. Back in before my time, yes, that was a thing.
Wow.
Yes, that was a thing. But, however, okay, so I get arrested in 2005. I'm in jail. 2007, I'm on death row. Now, when you go late 90s, I was going to say about late 90s, possibly early 2000s. Because I'm around dudes that's been down. I know a lot of people that have been down, 40, 50 years.
Wow.
So I know one dude, he didn't get 52 years. So it's like, there once was a time where, like, on a level 4 prison yard, like, yeah, people had their little boyfriends. Like, that was the lay of the land on general population yards. Now, I don't know exactly who came about and said, you know what, this homosexuality, like, this shit is done. Like, all this raping men and all that other, like, this shit is done. So the culture shifted. So now, when you think of like a level 4 general population yard, you're not gonna find no homosexuals just walking on the yard all willy-nilly nowadays. Doesn't go like that anymore. Things have changed. It's the same thing like hearing about men getting raped. Like,
this call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I'm not saying that some personal stuff might not like something like somebody doing something like that and like keeping it under wraps. I'm not saying like nothing like that could ever happen. What I'm saying is it doesn't happen culturally because, like, you're gonna be the oddball out in prison for that. Mm-hmm. Like, that's gonna get you out of there. Now, that's the difference between general population nowadays and what we used to call PC, protective custody. They changed that name to SNY, which is sensitive needs yard. Now, I've never been on no SNY yard, but this prison right here has a sensitive need yard right across the way. The stories that I hear about over there, the things that I've read going to the law library and seeing like people who filed lawsuits against other prisoners and police because of like the sexual abuse and the rape, it's no holds barred on the S&Y yard. So all that stuff that you're thinking about, yeah, it's still going on, but it's on a different yard, not on the general population yard.
I had to ask. I try not to laugh. It's just mad. The things that you see.
I mean, hey.
Obviously, I'm not laughing at the things that happen to people, but I'm just laughing because it's just funny. You see these things on the TV and we just make up our own mind, and then we automatically just assume that that is what prison's like. So that's why I was curious, what it's like there.
No, I get it. I completely understand it.
Like, have you seen deaths? Like, have you seen like bad fights and stuff in there?
You said, like, have I seen bad people?
Like bad fights and stuff like that. Like, does fights happen a lot?
Fights?
Yeah, fights, like punch up.
I mean, fights weren't really like, I don't know what it is about prison, but it seemed like usually when it get hot, like, it seemed like all kind of stuff be happening when it get hot. So, like, fights and stuff like that, like, that's regular, that's lay of the land stuff. But it's not like a always an everyday situation, like I say, because there's politics involved in all this stuff. Like I say, you're still involved with a whole lot of gang stuff. It's just not as turned up as it once was. Like for instance, I'll come back to this in a minute, but like right now, I'm on a level 3 prison yard in Donovan. Donovan is in San Diego, California. I left San Quentin Death Row in July 2021. And I've been down here for over 2.5 years. From San Quentin, I went to Centinela State Prison. From Centinela State Prison, I made it over here. So if I'm speaking in terms of Death Row, when I first got to Death Row was pretty mellow. It was pretty cool. Like, you had everything that happened in the hole. So when something happened, it usually happened in the hole, because you had people that were slammed down. They were stuck in the hole. They not getting out the hole. So, like, everything that happened was serious. Like one no fights. Somebody was getting stabbed or somebody was getting sliced. But there was still a huge amount of times where, like, things would just be mellow. Things would be, like, quiet. Death Row started really turning up when, I'm going to say about 2012, when they started sending a whole lot of people to Death Row with street level crimes. So you got all these young gang members that all of a sudden they just going straight, even though they got like a murder, robbery, or broke into somebody's car, and the person came out and they ended up shooting them. Like, murder with anything else, they were sending them to Death Row. So I witnessed, like, the culture change. And that's when it was like, more fights was happening. Like, you had more, that's when more stabbing started happening. So it was like, okay, the culture has shifted. Then, that's right around the same time to where, like, we all know that, phones is in, prison. But then, like, you notice the culture shifted when phones got implemented into this population. Like, you notice how, like, everything changed. Because now you got people getting on the phones and, one thing I've never respected about certain dudes in prison is they'll let somebody on another yard or in another prison dictate what goes on the yard that they're on in that prison. And it's just like, it just keeps a whole lot of bullshit in the mix. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So from 2012 on, it just started up. 2016, when you had people that was in a hole, they did a hunger strike, and they finally let these people out the hole in like 2016. So now you got all these what they consider, active gang members and validated gang members. They didn't came out the hole now, and that's like from 2016 on. That really was like, okay, like, yeah, we on death row, because it wasn't, when you heard the alarm go off on the yard, like, it wasn't a surprise no more. It wasn't like, oh shit, is that right? It was like, okay, yeah. It's been a couple of weeks. It's been kind of quiet, so yeah, it's about that time.
Yeah, see, like in the UK,
You
like
have 60 seconds remaining.
Francesca,
yeah, I'm here. You're gonna call me back?
I'm gonna call you back, but you got another question so I can think about it as I call you back?
I was just literally was gonna say in the UK it's so different over here. I know someone wants to know, what would your last meal be if you was sentenced to the death penalty?
Last meal. Oh my god! All right.
You think about it and call me back. I don't know how you eat there.
Nah.
Your food might be good anyway.
Yeah.
All right, speak to you in a
All
sec.
right. Let me
Bye.
This
Yeah, I had to get some of them questions in because it does intrigue me. Is it like Prison Break? Is it really over exaggerated? Is it? I mean, we know it's for the gang members and stuff, but do they just stab each other up for fun? It must be crazy because knowing somebody else that had been on death row, there, the stuff that happened back in them days was his was before Alexander, so it's different. The stuff that happens there is crazy, but then back in the day, even in the female establishments, women actually got raped by prison officers. So they never had cameras originally, years ago. They never had cameras in the 2 seconds, sorry.
This is
They never had
Global
cameras
Tellink. You have a
on the
prepaid
wings,
call from
but they had to. And the night
Alexander,
staff, they used to have keys
an
to be able to
inmate
get
at
into the
the
cells.
R.J. Donovan
But that all
Correctional
changed when I
Facility,
went back in
San
the second
Diego,
time.
California. This call and your telephone
They
number will
didn't
be
only
monitored and
two
recorded.
officers,
You have a
night
prepaid
staff.
call. You will not be
Only
charged
two
for this
night
call.
staff
To
had
accept this
the
call, say or
keys,
dial
so
5
the officers
now.
on the wing didn't, so they couldn't go into the rooms.
Thank you for using Global
It's
Tellink.
horrific that some of these prisoners are what they've been through. Hey.
Yeah. Okay. So last meal. Okay. I'm not participating in that at all. I couldn't do it. I don't know, because it's the last meal is extremely disrespectful.
Yeah.
Period.
Is it still a thing?
Now,
Sorry, I know I've just cut you off, but is that actually even still a thing? It's just a question I got asked. So do they still actually do that?
no,
Oh,
they
okay.
took that, like, that's over.
Oh, okay.
They took that I don't know. Since I've been on death row, they took that.
Oh, well, scrap that question
But
then. That's irrelevant.
no. I mean, I can answer it because I thought about that for a long time. So just think about it like this. Number one, when I say it's disrespectful, I too will acknowledge the fact that me shooting someone and taking their life, that's disrespectful. So I'm gonna raise my hand first and say, yes, I've done some disrespectful stuff. However, the death penalty it's not a deterrent of nothing. So you're saying I'm going to kill you because you killed somebody else. Okay, fine. But hey, what would you like for your last meal?
Yeah.
Why do you care about the last meal I eat? That's twisted.
Yeah.
Why is it the last meal? They don't ask you if you want to be with a woman for the last time. Hey man, you want to spend the night with your woman? They don't ask you that. You know what I'm saying? They don't give you no special visits for the last time. Okay? They don't ask you, you know what, you can sleep over here on this nice fluffy, bed. You can take a bath. You know what I'm saying? We finna kill you, but we're gonna go ahead and give you a bath. Why? Why don't they give you that? But they give you this last meal. So like that right there in and of itself, to me, it's weird and it's sick.
Mm.
And
Well,
it's crazy.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I'm gonna give you one last favor on the way out the door. But you're not even finna. But before you can shit this meal out, you're gonna be dead. Like, come on, like no, that's not happening.
yeah. Well, obviously they obviously know it, because hence why they've scrapped it.
Yeah. Oh no, they scrapped it because of money.
Oh, really?
They felt like there was no need to spend that money.
Oh,
Yes, they
wow.
felt like there was no need to spend that money on a prisoner's last meal. It wasn't.
Wow.
It wasn't because they were trying to do the right thing. Nah.
Oh,
Nah.
wow.
Nah. Yeah.
So could you literally have anything you wanted,
Big
though?
wow. You know what? That's what I'm hearing. Yes.
Wow.
That's what I'm hearing. Yes. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you could have like some ask for something like extremely foreign, but for the most part, yeah. Steak or lobster or whatever the hell you want. I believe so.
I wouldn't even want to eat. I wouldn't even be able to eat. Because, like, we all know we're going to die, but, like...
Exactly.
But to know... But, like,
Yeah.
knowing when... And then the last thing I'm going to want to do is have some big slap-up meal, unless I'm some psychopath that really don't give a crap what's going on.
Yeah, but you know how it is. Keep them fat for the slaughter.
Oh, man.
That's how I look at it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Fat for the slaughter. You know?
Well,
was,
I really appreciate you.
I believe it was. Let me see.
Sorry?
Remember last time we was talking, what was the other one you asked me?
Oh, would
you rather have the injection and just be over?
Yeah, so, like, if we took away, well, the whole hope of the whole appeal thing. Sorry, I didn't mean to say the hope, but the whole appeal thing. Would you rather have the injection and just have it done with, or just wait until your day randomly turns up?
I'd rather wait. I'm not going to sign up. I'm not going to participate in in my death.
Yeah.
So I'm not forfeiting no appeals. I'm not telling you what drug you put in the needle, which arm you use. If you're going to use a gun, I'm not telling you which caliber to use. No.
Yeah, because obviously, like, the way the questions come at, it's like you've got a choice just to end it with them doing it there and then, or do you sit for years not knowing not knowing if today is going to be the day that they tell you, or the next day, so is it more torture? I think that's where they were trying to go with the question. Would it be more, because I don't know how I'd feel. I guess obviously, unless I was sat in that situation, nobody can answer that.
True. But for me, I just can't participate in it. For the simplest way I can put this, the scary stuff is the unknown. Like being on death row, like first I got to go through my appeals. I know I'm not going to die before my appeals are automatically done. Okay? So that right there lets me know right now, like, there isn't going to be no pop-up anything. So that's a level of relaxation right there. At least I know that these people ain't going to pop up until my appeals are all the way over. That's all I need.
Mm.
I don't really need nothing else. And that mellows me out right there. Now, when the appeals are over, that's a whole nother ballgame. You're going to have to ask me that then.
Yeah, well, we're going to hope that you get your appeal and it all goes through and you're no longer on death row. So hopefully we won't need to be asking you that question again. All right?
My point exactly, Francesca.
So I have faith. I have hope.
Yes. You're not the only one.
No, and I'm pretty sure that everybody watching as well will be feeling exactly the same. I've already told these guys that I read you out the comments beforehand. And people on my channel are so amazing. They're always, you'll get the odd idiot here and there, but it's very, very rare. It's all love on my channel. So yeah, but I really, really appreciate you taking the time to speak to us all tonight, because I'm just new to getting the answers as what everybody watching this is, and I really look forward to catching up with you again.
Thank you. I appreciate you giving me a time to get out there, like I say, introduce myself to the world, get my story out there, and like kicking with you and just let the world know a little bit more about those of us that exist on death row